checked.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? So it's Keith here at Coding Blind Tech, and I am going to show you how to create folders, files, and be able to also remove folders and files inside of a Linux file system. So this is going to be from a bash line in Ubuntu. So we have Ubuntu 24.04 WSL installed, and I'll actually put a link to that video where I showed how to do that download and installation in a recent video. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is open up Notepad.
Start window. Note. Star hello world right.
All right, so in here,
Hello
I'm
blank.
going to just kind of go over the commands that we're going to look at because I'm going to type these out and put them in the description for you all to have. But I figured we'd go over them here first. I'd type them out, and then again, we actually show this hands-on inside of the Ubuntu terminal. So, the first one that I'm going to show you whenever we do the hands-on is how to make a directory. So in order to make a directory, you're going to run the mkdir command, which is mkdir, and then we'll space,
Gator.
okay, and then we're going to type the name of the folder we want to create, or the name of the directory. So the directory could be code, all right? So that's going to be the first one.
Node.
And I'm going to leave that there. Like I said, I'm going to write these in Notepad first and go over them with you, and then we're going to go look at it on the command line. So, like I said, make directory is mkdir, and then space, and then the file or the directory name. The next one I'm going to show you is how to actually create a file. So to create a file, we're going to use first. I'm going to show you echo, and then I'm going to show you touch. So echo, we can do echo
Echo.
greater than, and then the file name. So we can just say file name, and then our extension for
File name.
that. We'll just say txt in this case. Um, and I don't have any spaces there. And that's another thing. You can't have spaces in a file name or a folder name on Linux anyway, or any Unix. So I'm showing you Echo first. Echo is what I use a lot, but usually this is exactly how I use Echo. Uh, but normally, or you can also use Echo by writing Echo greater than the file name and then space, and then in quotes you can actually put text that you want to go into that file, and it'll actually write that text into that file. All right, so the next one is touch.
Text.
So touch will let you create multiple files. So we can actually say touch
Touch.
space and then the file name. So we do file name
File name.
underscore one
1.
dot text,
Text.
and then we'll do space file name
File name.
or two
2.
png. And obviously you wouldn't have png, but
G. And P.
you probably would have like MD for Markdown. You know what I mean? So we'll do that.
MD.
So that shows us touch. All right, so that's going to be the create part of this. So make directory, which is mkdir, and then the file or the directory name. We've got echo greater file name.txt, which is no spaces, and then we use touch. So I just showed you that one. So now I'm going to show you how to remove a file, and then I'm going to show you how to remove a directory. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to remove a file. So if you want to remove one file, you just rm
RM.
space, and then we're going to type the file name. So we'll just say file
File name.
name.txt. Okay, so let's say we want to remove
Text.
multiple files. So we can do rm
RM.
space, and then file name
File name.
for
1.
one.txt, and then we can type space,
Text.
and then file name
File name. 2.
2.md. Right, and that can remove multiple files.
MD.
Now, the way you're going to remove a directory is you have to do it recursively. So we're going to do rm
RM.
space dash R
R.
space and then the directory name, which I'm gonna go back up
mkdir code.
to the top. It was code.
rm-r. Rm file name line 1. rm-r. Blank. Space. Blank.
So I'm just gonna say code. And so you would have to do that recursively. Now, there's something to point out about this. If you do this recursively, it's going to ask you if you would like to remove the file, yes or no, and it's going to ask you that for each file in the directory. So you can force it to remove those
R.
files, but
M. Space. Dash.
be very aware of what directory you're removing.
R. Space.
So in order, and to do that,
Blank.
you would do the same thing. So rm
Rm.
dash rf
Rf.
space. So it'd be rm space dash rf space, and then the directory name, and that's going to remove that directory and all content inside of that directory.
Code.
All right, so that is um, the discussion part of this. So this part will actually be in the description below, so don't forget to pick that up. And then we will actually move on to following to actually creating our folders, files, and then actually removing them. We're actually going to use this as a reference, but I'll probably type them out. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to come over to Ubuntu 24.04 on the command line. So this, I actually have a video for downloading and installing this on Windows.
OBS 3.0. Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder Cole. Coding blind.
Alright, we hear the sound that is new to Windows now. So whenever I hit down arrow on the command line, it lets me know that I'm at the bottom. So I'm going to type clear. And then we're usually in our home directory when we first open this, but we can check with pwd, press enter.
/home/ coding blind tech. Coding blind tech.
So we hear /home /coding blind tech. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do again is make a directory. So to do that, we're going to type mkdir
mkdir.
space code, which it can be anything on your end, but that's just going to be our directory name. Remember, your directory name cannot have spaces in it, so use underscores or dashes. So I'm going to press enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder Cole.
All right, so to check this, we're going to do
ls
-1.
code. Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder.
Okay, so we hear code is in here now. We're actually going to
cd.
space and then enter code.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder.
So now the way I did that was cd space. I typed code and press enter. So you can actually tabulate these code like file name, folder name, and different commands that may be picked up. So I could have cd space c and then press tab, and it would actually tabulate code. So now let's do pwd enter.
/home/ coding blind tech /code.
All right,
Coding
so
blind tech at K Blackwelder Cole until this /code $.
we're in our code directory. I'm going to clear.
/code $.
All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use echo to create our first file. So it's echo, echo greater than,
Echo.
and then the file name. So
File name.
filename.txt. Press enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder Cole until this /code $.
All right, so we just get, we activated that command, and then our command line come back to us fresh, and then now we're going to ls space -1.
filename.txt.
And
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder Cole until this /code $.
That's going to list out the files and folders in our directory. So we hear filename.txt. All right, so that's echo greater than. Now I'm going to show you touch. So we type touch space
touch.
then file name
one.
.txt. Remember, we're going to create multiple files here.
Text.
So I'm going to hit space after that file name, and then I'm going to do
file name 2.
.md. I'm going to press enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder Cole until this /code $.
So again, we just get back to our active fresh command line. I'm going to ls space -1.
ls filename.txt. Filename line 1.txt. Filename line 2.md. Coding.
Okay. So right there we hear that our file name 1 text and our file name 2 md was created. All right, so now we are going to, so that's how we create a directory. we create a file with echo greater than, and then we created multiple files with touch. Now remember, you can create a single file with touch, but I use touch whenever I want to create multiple files. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to remove files and folders. So first I'm going to show you how to remove the files that we created. So first I'm going to show you how to remove a single file,
RM.
space, and then I'm going to type file name. Now this is where we can tabulate, so I'm going to press tab.
Name.
And remember, we have file name .txt, file name 1, file name 2. So we're actually, it's going to show us that we have file name, and then I'm going to go ahead and finish. I'm going to type a period and then press tab again.
Text.
And you hear text. Now I'm going to hit enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder :
All right, now I'm going to show you, or I'm going to list out, that way so you can see what's in here now. ls space -1.
File name line 1.txt. File name line 2.md. Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder :
So you can hear that file name.txt is now gone. Now I'm going to show you how to remove multiple files. So we're going to do rm space
RM.
file name. Now remember, I'm just typing file. I'm going to hit tab.
Name line.
And then it says file name underscore. The output on the screen reader was a little weird, but I'm just letting you know what it does say. So it says file name, and you hear the screen reader say line, but it's an underscore. And then we're going to type O in and then press tab.
E.text.
All right, it puts the rest of it in there for us, E.text. So I'm going to press backspace.
Space.
Because there's a space there, but I want that space to come back, so I'm going to press the space bar. I was just checking. So I'm going to hit space bar, and then I'm going to type the second file name, file. So I'm just typing FIL, and I'm going to hit tab.
Name line.
And then now we're going to type T, and then press tab again.
Wo.md.
And then it's now file name 2.md, and we're going to press enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder : /code $.
Okay, now we're going to list out what's in this directory with the ls space -1.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder : /code $.
Right, so there's actually nothing in here now because we've deleted it all. We just hear the output on our command line. So now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to delete the code directory. So I'm actually going to cd space .. which moves me back a directory, and then hit enter.
Coding blind tech at K.
And then now, like I said, you can use the recursive way, which will remove it in this case because there's nothing inside that directory now to recursively remove. Therefore, it will not ask you yes or no. However, you do need to be aware that you need to know which folder you're deleting before you use -rf like I'm about to do. So the way I'm going to show you to delete a directory is rm space -rf. That's recursively force
RF.
space and then the folder name code. Press enter.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder : $.
Alright, so we get kind of the same feedback we did when creating and deleting files. And now we can ls space -1.
Coding blind tech at K Blackwelder : $.
And you hear now we don't hear code because it's gone. So that is how we create, and so we created a folder or a directory, and we created a file and then multiple files using two different ways. And then we also removed those files and then removed the actual directory. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one.
Stormcater, OBS 3.0.